morning, everybody. There have always been Indigenous peoples in the spaces we call home, and there always will be. The Midwest Love event takes place on Indigenous lands, both in person at Juby Art Center and virtually in your home. So today, we acknowledge those who have stewarded these lands for generations. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Annette, for recognizing the land that we are standing upon today. And now we're gonna change it up a little bit, and we're gonna do some 30-second pitches. Normally, we like to pitch internally and lift up folks in our community that are doing amazing, amazing work. But today, we are gonna have our city's pitch and talk about why is it awesome to come and travel to where, any of these 8 cities, come and visit us. So I'm gonna bring our first pitcher, Natalie Weiland, who is our social media copywriter in Chicago. Natalie, over to you.
Hello. So as you can see on the screen, our designer Mick did an awesome illustration for us with a few things representing Chicago. One of them being the onion, which is a nod to the original title, the original Algonquin meaning of Chicago, which is land of the onions. But today, Chicago is home to 77 ethnically diverse neighborhoods, each with their own personality, and we're super proud of that. We're known for blues, house, and hip hop music, and you can pretty much see whatever you want at the over 200 music venues here in Chicago. If you're into art, you can check out the Art Institute or a gallery in Pilsen or Wicker Park. And if you love food, you can check out the world's largest food festival, the Taste of Chicago. And then of course there's Wrigley Field, where you can always have a hot dog or popcorn. And we're so proud of our Midwest spirit here in Chicago. Let's pass it off to Omaha.
What's up, everybody? I got 30 seconds to make you rock with the one, the O and E, the OMA. So I'm sure you didn't realize Omaha is a metro area of about 1 million people, a collective voice strong enough to warrant an electoral college vote all our own. National athletic hub because we are the perennial host of D1 College World Series, the U.S. skating trials, NCAA volleyball opening rounds and Elite 8, and the U.S. Olympic swim trials. Of course you know about Warren Buffett, but we are also the birthplace of Malcolm X. We are the home of Simone Sanders, the current chief spokesperson for Vice President Kamala Harris. We have a master's collection art museum, multiple art centers that you can participate in the arts yourself, award-winning opera and professional dance company, a world-class symphony, and world-renowned indie music and theater scene. The fact is, you probably know more about Omaha than you realize, because a lot of what you know happens right here.
Next up, we have Thomas Fox from Cleveland, who's going to talk about the intro of, or is going to give us intro of this week's theme.
Can we do this later, guys? Got some other stuff to do right now. Of course, that's not true, but we put things off all the time, and we should not. This theme, there's over 200 chapters around the world of Creative Mornings, and more outside the United States than in the United States. This theme was chosen by Turin in Italy, and illustrated here by Alyssa Talentino. I believe usually the illustrators for all these, not always, but usually the illustrators are from the cities that have chosen the themes, and really happy to be here with everybody to put some things off, at least put off work for a little while this morning, so we can all be here together. It's really nice.
Hot Shop's mission is to be a place where ideas, dreams, and what ifs are explored, created, and shared. Continuous artists like Matthew Shrader grow and thrive in his craft. He studied glassblowing and glass sculpture with many prominent artists at Corning Museums of Glass and Penland School of Crafts for the last 17 years. His work interprets organic form and vibrant color into vessel sculptures. So we are about to go to Crystal Forge.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Crystal Forge and the Hot Shops. I'm Matthew Shrader. I'm going to do a glass blowing demo for you. I've been blowing glass here with Ed Fennell in his shop for almost 18 years now. I'm going to do a demo of a mushroom. I've got some over here. The mushrooms I've been doing for a number of years are a really fun item that you can put in your yard. They go in the landscape really nicely. We recently myself and 12 other artists did a project at Lauritsen Gardens, putting art inside of the gardens for a show that they have there that they've had all spring, and I did a bunch of mushrooms for that. So I'll just dive right into it. I know we don't have a ton of time. I just finished this piece here. This is going to be parts and pieces for a bonsai. So this is the canopy for a bonsai. I'm putting this away really quick. Or not. Similar to the cactus that I have here, I'll do a bonsai like that later on. You won't get to see that, but I'll be doing that later. Let's dive into a mushroom so you can see the process. I'm going to talk kind of about the process as I go along. I'm not sure if we're available for questions or not, but if we are, I can certainly answer those. So I've got a hollow blowpipe, hollow pipe all the way through, so I can actually blow the piece. This will be a hollow piece. Some things are solid, like the cactus here. It's a solid sculpted piece, but the mushroom is hollow. So the tip is preheated to about 1,000 degrees, so the hot glass will actually stick to it. Make sure it's clear all the way through. I'm going to gather some clear glass. So this clear glass is about 2,100 degrees Fahrenheit. That temperature, it's really similar to the consistency of honey. If I stop turning, it'll head right for the floor. I'm constantly turning to keep the glass on center. I'm adding some white crushed up colored glass. This is going to be the stem of the mushroom. So the mushroom will be made in 2 gathers into the furnace. This first gather, I'll get the bubble started, set it up, and let it cool to not too far under 1,100, 1,200 degrees, and then I'll gather some more glass on top of it. Like I said, I've been blowing glass for almost 18 years now. I learned here in Ed's shop. I took a weekend workshop, got hooked on it, and never looked back. I like to take workshops when I can, different places. The Corning Museum of Glass, Penland School of Crafts. I take workshops when I can to continue that education. I worked in Corning, New York for a summer back in 2004. Otherwise, most of my glass blowing experiences right here in this shop. So I blew a little air in here, trapped it with my thumb. That'll cause the bubble to expand. Chilling the outside of the glass, creating kind of a cold skin, while the inside's still nice and hot. So I can inflate the bubble in there. So in the glass blowing process, there's actually not as much blowing as there is working with other tools. So this is setting up quite a bit. The glass cools off really rapidly. That's why I'll be reheating. You saw me reheat that white glass, or heat that white glass up so I can smooth it into the surface. It cools off pretty quickly, so I'm constantly heating it, working it with the tools. So if I stop turning, it's not doing anything very much anymore. It's pretty set up. Still well over 1,000 degrees, so it won't crack off of there. I'll go in for some more clear glass. All right, now I'm going for the red top of the mushroom. Coat this several times. So this is just crushed up colored glass again. It's a little bit different size, a little bit smaller than the white. So it coats a little differently, a little more even, not quite as dappled looking as the white. And I'm going to go ahead and heat that up. Finish the top with some spots of white. Now that I've applied all this color, I'll smooth it all in and start to shape the piece. I've got a tool here, it's a blow hose. What's going to let me do is shape the glass and blow at the same time. Glass blowing often is a team effort, or you have an assistant that might do some of these parts along the way. But this way I can do it all on my own. So I'm centering the piece in this wooden block made out of wood and dipped in water. Since the glass will burn wood, wood will burn about a quarter the temperature of the glass, so I'm basically riding on a pocket of steam. So I'll shape this more on the steel table, the marver. The glass is always hottest the further it is from the blowpipe, so I'm going to chill the end and then blow at the same time so it doesn't get too thin on the end. So we're getting ready for our building-wide open house, where everybody will have their doors open to show what they've been working on. And I'm going to be making a lot of these mushrooms for that on May 1st and 2nd. So step by step, I'm getting the mushroom shaped up. Glass has a memory, and if you do a step out of order or too quickly, or something to that effect, that you don't always get that chance back. It's kind of do it in one shot or start over. I often tell people when I'm making glass, I fell in love with the process, and I have to remember that, because sometimes you'll be working on a piece for 3 hours and you could bump something wrong, it'll break right off of there, and that's it, it's broken. So you don't get too invested in one piece to the other. It's more about the process of making the glass that keeps me engaged and keeps me wanting to come back for more. Okay.
How hot is heat? Like, is this project considered easy or more advanced?
So we had a couple of questions. I think the first one was how hot the glass is. I'm sorry? The pipe. So the pipe, there's a lot of comfortable working space. Steel's a pretty poor conductor of heat in general. It's hard to see, I'm sure, but the pipe is tarnished about a foot up, and it certainly would burn me if I grabbed right close to the glass. But where I'm at, it's not hot at all. It's very comfortable. It's room temperature where my hands are. Sometimes we say that glass blowing's like cooking. When you get more creative and you're doing things you haven't done before, you might, burn yourself. So we keep it pretty safe in here. We're not flinging hot glass at each other, anything like that. But typically, a burn that would happen in the shop is something like that you touch a tool that held heat, and maybe you get a minor burn that way. And the other question was about what kind of skill level it is for a project like this. The mushroom, so I'd call this some of my production work, something I can make over and over, even though every one is unique and has its own characteristics. The steps are pretty similar. So it took me a while. Like I said, I've been blowing glass for about 18 years. And I'd say it's an intermediate project to be able to shape this correctly, not overblow it and get it too thin on the top. So it's in the middle as far as difficulty level, I think. So this one is ready to go into the annealer. It's still well over 1,000 degrees. I need to put it away so it'll slowly cool, take all the stress out of the glass. It'll sit in an annealer overnight and slowly come down to room temperature. That annealer is just about 900 degrees. So I made a constriction off the end of the pipe. And basically, I'm going to break this off. A little bit of room temperature water just to stress that constriction I made, and then I'll tap the rod. It'll pop right off of there. I'll fire polish the end smooth. Just less work later. I could grind this later with tools, but this saves me a lot of time to be able to do it right now. So glass, in case I mess up, or, well, it happens often. If I mess a piece up or it breaks, there's a lot of different ways that you can recycle glass, repurpose glass. We've made glass tiles for backsplashes. You can melt glass flat. You can do pendants. All kinds of different things. People have used them for mosaics. So I've got pieces here that were old vases and things that broke on the floor, and then they get flattened, put into a kiln, heated up and flattened. But colored glass we don't throw back into the furnace. It would eventually burn out, but it takes way too long for it to burn out. So anything that we make that's clear, we can throw right into the furnace the next night and reuse that glass. But colored glass, we'll use it in other ways to try to repurpose it. I'll go ahead and go right into another piece. I think we've got some more time. 30 seconds, okay, well, maybe I won't. But so this is a solid piece, a solid flower. And I'll bid you adieu as I'm working on that piece. The flowers go pretty quick, but that's a completely solid sculpted piece. Hope you had fun coming in and joining me for a bit. I appreciate it. And hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll work on this flower as we head out.